The Duggar family has lived a very different life in 2022. They went from living in the public eye to losing their second television series because of Josh Duggar's actions. 2022 was the first year the family hadn't filmed anything at all for the TLC network. The Duggars had been filming for the network for well over a decade. While several of the siblings continue to keep their followers updated via social media, and some sprouting up on YouTube channels for revenue, a few couples have chosen to pull back from the very public life they were forced into because of the show. And despite all that, there still have been shocking moments from the Duggar camp this year. 2021 was such a doozy, the aftermath spilled over and played out this year. Number 1. Josh Duggar was found guilty of possession and receipt of child pornography in December of 2021. His sentencing was due in April, but they pushed it back to May of 2022. When the time came around to sentence Josh for his crimes, he was given 12.5 years behind bars in federal prison. And he was only sentenced on the charge of receiving the material, as it was the charge that carried the most weight. And aside from his prison term, Josh will have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life and check in with an officer for several years following his release, and several other stipulations that went along with his sentencing. Currently, Josh Duggar is in Texas serving his time, and he wasn't moved immediately as it took time to find out where he would go. Anna Duggar remains a faithful wife and is reportedly considering a move to Texas so she can see Josh as much as she can as the years go on. But federal prisons don't allow conjugal visits, so it's likely the couple is also done welcoming children. Following Josh Duggar's sentence in May, several Duggar siblings started making statements. Number 2. For the most part, many of them weren't saying much. They weren't condemning Josh for his misdeeds, but instead offering support for Anna Duggar and their children. However, that all changed when Jeremy Volo spoke about his and Ginger Duggar's stance regarding Josh and his sentencing. He acknowledged many victims in the scenario and revealed they, quote, rejoice for justice. The biggest grievance Jeremy talked about was Josh portraying himself as a Christian. He was also a, quote, high-profile Christian, and, quote, the higher the platform, the harder the fall. Jeremy also mentioned the hypocrisy of it all and the, quote, false prophet. This seemed to be a jab at Jim Bob Duggar, who was rumored to believe that Josh was dealing with this so that he could spread God's word in prison. Number 3. Ginger Duggar has always been dubbed as the, quote, rebel child. She's the one who married the soccer star who wasn't pure but had to come into faith later in life. She moved away from Arkansas to live with her husband in Laredo, Texas, right after they got married. Then, she decided to change up her wardrobe and incorporate pants, and eventually moved on to shorts and other things that would break the dress code her and her sisters were made to follow at the Duggar compound. Now, Ginger is telling her story about why she rejects the Institute of Basic Life Principles and the teaching of Bill Gothard. She wrote a book about her experience questioning what she was taught to believe, which began in 2017. Ginger mentions, quote, detangling fear from faith is what the book is all about. In a YouTube video, Ginger Duggar makes it very clear that the book is not a tell-all about her family. Instead, it's an inside look at her very personal journey to finding out the true intentions of Jesus. She is still very much a Christian, but no longer a Christian who follows Bill Gothard's teachings. This is a similar journey that Jill Duggar took, which reportedly got her shunned by some family members. Whether this happens to Ginger remains to be seen, as the book doesn't come out until January 2023. Number 4. The birth of another child was always a big deal for Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. Once Michelle stopped having children, the birth of their grandchildren became the highlight of their lives. Earlier this year, there was heavy speculation that Lauren Swanson and Josiah Duggar welcomed a baby. Neither confirmed a pregnancy or birth, and they scrubbed their social media almost completely clean. There was also some talk that Kendra Caldwell and Joseph Duggar would be welcoming their 4th child. They didn't confirm that either. Now, when Joanna Duggar shared a YouTube video announcing her latest pregnancy to her family, she asked her dad what grandchild her baby would be. He said 30, and we did the math so you don't have to. Anna and Josh have 7 children, John David and Abby have 2 children, Jill and Derek Dillard have 3 children, Jessa and Ben Seawald have 4 children, Ginger and Jeremy Wolo have 2 children, Joanna and Austin have 2 children with 1 more on the way, Joseph and Kendra have confirmed 3 children, Josiah and Lauren have confirmed 1 child, Jedediah and Caitlin have one child, and Jeremiah and Hannah, they're expecting. So that got us thinking, did Lauren and Kendra welcome babies and just not announce it to the world since they pulled back from social media? And if that's the case, that only covers 2 more grandchildren, so where's the final one? Is someone else expecting and just not making it public yet? Number 5. While this may not be shocking in the way that most of the other moments are, it is confusing to longtime Duggar fans and followers. Jim Bob Duggar boasts about his real estate and has even gifted some of his children homes. So why is one of his sons living in a renovated camper? Now sure, it's a 5th wheel, but Jeremiah Duggar and Hannah Weissman are expecting their first child. Wouldn't they want a more permanent home? And also, where will the 5th wheel be parked? Presumably, it is probably on the Duggar compound somewhere. However, Jeremiah and Hannah didn't mention that when they shared their videos showing the renovations they did to make the camper livable. And with all Jim Bob has, surely he wouldn't be thrilled about one of his sons living in a camper, right? Nonetheless, it'll be interesting to see if Jeremiah and Hannah show more of their camper and what they plan to do once their baby girl arrives in 2023. Now, if we missed one of your favorite Duggar moments, be sure to leave it in the comments. And if you like this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and share if you care, and we'll see you all at the next one.